Hey there, fellow explorers, and welcome. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're swapping our library cards for treasure maps because we're learning how to craft golden research notes on a hunt for pure, unadulterated truth.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're deep into a project, and you're just surrounded by this fortress of books, and your browser has so many tabs open it basically looks like a barcode. It's not just a sea of words, it feels like an entire ocean of information, and you feel like you're sinking.
But hang on, let's just reframe this whole thing. Forget about being a passive researcher. From now on, let's become active truth collectors. Yeah, imagine yourself on this exhilarating quest, not just gathering random data, but actually hunting for real gems of valuable knowledge.
Exactly. This isn't work, it's a treasure hunt. And, like any great hunt, there's a prize. And I'm not just talking about a good grade. I'm talking about that aha moment of pure understanding. That kind of clarity where really complex ideas just click. So, here's your mission, should you choose to accept it. Seek out golden notes. Now, these are the total opposite of random trivia. A golden note is a really potent, concise piece of information. It could be a key statistic, a powerful quote, a core concept that acts like a direct key to unlocking your main research question. So where do we find this treasure? Well, we need a map. I mean, no self-respecting treasure hunter would leave home without one. And ours is a simple set of rules designed to guide you straight to the gold. So let's unfold this map and see what it really takes to craft a golden note. And here it is, our treasure map. 4 simple rules to keep you on track. First up, keep it short. A golden nugget isn't a giant boulder, right? So instead of copying a whole paragraph on bee communication, your note might just be, bees use the waggle dance to show food location. Boom. Second rule, make it clear. Each note is one single piece of treasure. You don't mix your silver and gold. So, one note for the waggle dance, a separate note for bee colony collapse. Third, it has to be useful. Does it actually lead you closer to your answer? If your question is about bee communication, a note about how great honey tastes is, well, it's just a distraction. And fourth, the cardinal rule of all treasure hunting, make sure it's cited. You always mark where you found your gold.
Now, having a map is one thing, but you also need the skill to actually read it. For a truth collector, that skill is discernment. As it says in Proverbs, the heart of the discerning acquires knowledge. In research, discernment isn't some kind of mystical power. It's the really practical ability to judge the quality and relevance of information. It's your most valuable tool on this whole hunt. So what is discernment really? Think of it as your own personal intellectual filter. It's the skill that lets you separate the treasure from the trash, and you develop it by asking critical questions as you read. Questions like, is this source reliable? Or is this a fact? Or is it just someone's opinion? And maybe the most important one, does this information actually help answer my core question? Or is it just a really interesting side trail? That's your internal compass at work, guiding you right past the junk. All right, let's fire up that internal compass and put it to the test. It's time for a little practical exercise, spotting gold versus gravel. We're going to learn how to instantly recognize those valuable golden notes and just toss aside the worthless gravel that only clutters up your research. Okay, here's our first piece of potential treasure. Bees help pollinate 80% of flowering plants. So what do you think, gold or gravel? Let's check our map. It's short, it's clear, one solid idea. And assuming our research question is about the ecological importance of bees, it is incredibly useful. This is a perfect example of a golden note. That is definitely a keeper. Now for this one. Bees are just the cutest little buzzers. What do we think? Gold or gravel? I mean, while a lot of us might agree with that statement, it totally fails the useful test. It's a subjective opinion, not an objective fact that helps answer a question about ecology or biology. This is classic gravel. It's fun, but you toss it aside. This slide just lays out the distinction perfectly. On the left, a golden note. Honeybees are in danger because of pesticides and habitat loss. That is a verifiable, urgent fact. On the right, we've got gravel. I love honey on toast. That's just a personal preference. So the crucial point for every truth collector is to train your eye for that objective, verifiable information and filter out all the subjective noise. Okay, theory is great, but let's actually see these tools in action. I want you to meet a fellow truth collector. Her name is Aria, and she just finished her own research treasure hunt. So let's follow her trail and see exactly how she used this map to find her gold.
So this was Arya's quest, the big question driving her whole hunt. What causes earthquakes and how can we stay safe? Notice how it's actually a two-part question. That means she needed to find treasure, those golden notes, that addressed both the cause and the solution. This was the destination on her treasure map.
And this is the treasure she unearthed. Look how brilliant this is. Instead of pages of messy notes, she has 4 powerful nuggets. The first 2, about tectonic plates and common locations, tackle the what causes them part of her quest. The third, drop, cover, hold, directly answers how to stay safe. Each one is short, clear, and useful. And check this out, she cites her sources. This is a perfect treasure haul.
And here's the payoff. Because Arya's notes were so clean and focused, she didn't have to wade through a bunch of clutter. She took her 4 golden notes and, from them, built an absolutely amazing, life-saving safety guide that she shared with her entire class. Now that's the power of this method.
So we've covered the how-to of the treasure hunt, but now we get to the heart of it all, the why. And this is probably the most important part of our journey today. Why does carefully collecting these little golden notes of truth matter so profoundly, beyond just getting a good grade?
This poem just captures the essence of it so beautifully. You see, each golden note is like a single speck of gold dust you find in a stream. By itself, it's tiny. But when you patiently collect them, and you sort them, and you melt them down, you don't just have a pile of dust anymore. You've shaped it into something solid, valuable, and beautiful. And that is wisdom. The shaping of individual truths into a greater, more cohesive understanding.
And you know, the most amazing thing about this treasure is that it's meant to be shared. The care you take in finding the truth isn't just some academic exercise. That knowledge can become a gift. Arya's research became a safety guide for her friends. Your research on nutrition could help your family. The truth you collect has the power to serve, protect, and uplift other people. And this brings up a really important point. You know, being smart isn't just about accumulating facts. We've all seen how knowledge without a moral compass can cause real harm in the world. The ultimate goal of being a truth collector is to pair that knowledge with goodness, to use what you learn to make choices that help people, that build things up, not tear them down. That's the real definition of intelligence. Ultimately, the final treasure chest in this hunt holds something way more precious than facts or grades. It holds peace. There's a profound sense of calm that comes from focusing your mind on what is good and what is true. That inner peace, that clarity of purpose, that is the ultimate treasure. Now go on your own adventures and be the best truth collectors you can be.